Halftime at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. Tom Hammond and Dave Lapham, where the Indianapolis Colts lead the Buffalo Bills 17-7. And Dave, a surprising first half. Right off the bat, it was a surprise because the Indianapolis Colts did not hand the ball to Eric Dickerson as they had through the first 5 games of the season. They went to the air with Chris Chandler, the rookie, at the controls at that time.
And he did a tremendous job. He incorporated a lot of people, a lot of support for Eric Dickerson. Albert Bentley got involved in the offense very early, went to his wide receivers. Bill Brooks made a couple of big catches. I think it was a good scheme by Ron Meyer and loosened the defense up a little bit. Eric Dickerson started to get involved in the football game, running the football as well as catching it. So they really jumped off to a very, very positive start in this football game.
Chandler, of course, was later injured, suffered a bruised sternum, and replaced by Gary Hogeboom. But Hogeboom right on target, especially with a long touchdown pass to Clarence Verdin.
Clarence Verdin has turned into the big play person for the Indianapolis Colts, and really Gary Hogeboom could have had at least one more touchdown pass. Clarence Verdin, with all the positives that he had in the first half, had a couple of major drops.
Do you think the momentum shifted, though, after Indianapolis had gone up 17-0, and they had the Bills backed up to their own 2-yard line, but then Kelly came out firing and got the Bills on the board just before halftime? Did that sort of turn the thing around for Buffalo?
I think it did. I think that's the most positive thing that could have happened for Buffalo. When you go on a 98-yard drive, you're doing a lot of things very well. I think one of the big things is the offensive line really operated well for Jim Kelly. He was never really hit in that series. He was hit a couple of times in the first half. Of course, the defensive ends closed in on him and sandwiched him on one particular play, but the offensive line in that 2-minute drive did just an exemplary job of protecting the quarterback.
Kelly had not been sharp in his passing early in the game, but in that last drive was on target and did throw a pass to Harmon, 26 yards for the Bills' only touchdown of the game. Looking ahead to the second half, what do you expect to see? As far as these two teams continue to go back and forth, do you think the Colts will still be diversified, and will the Bills be able to adjust after expecting to have to stop Dickerson?
I think the Bills will make an adjustment defensively, and really I think that the one thing you mentioned about that touchdown pass or touchdown drive at the end of the first half, the Bills can now stay with their game plan. They don't really have to adjust that game plan. There's a hit that Chandler took from Cornelius Bennett, and another hit that he took from Cornelius Bennett. Boy, the quarterbacks did get hit. The Indianapolis Colts got hit with regularity by that Buffalo Bill defense.
And, of course, Chandler eventually had to leave the game, and the diagnosis of bruised sternum. Here he scrambles and goes down, and it would be Gary Hogeboom that would come on to replace him. Kelly also took a shot in the first half. In fact, the Bills had to call a timeout to clear his head. And Kelly, though, did come back on. He's a tough customer.
He is. You know, the standing joke going around the Buffalo area is that Jim Kelly had as many tackles as he had touchdown passes coming into this afternoon's football game. That was 2 each.
Let's take a look at the stats for the first half. The Colts had the edge in first downs and in yards rushing barely. The yards passing sort of evened up after that 98-yard drive by the Bills, and the total yardage pretty close. The time of possession was way in favor of the Colts after the first quarter, but it too evened up somewhat in the second quarter. And the passing stats, the Colts, Chandler and Hogeboom, 14 of 24. Jim Kelly all the way 13 of 23 in the first half. And the one turnover was an interception by Barry Krause of the Colts, who turned it. The Colts later turned it into a touchdown. Kickoff sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Tucker deep for the Bills as Biasucci will kick it off for the Colts. Tucker takes it at the 6. Across the 20, he's got some room. Out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Biasucci, the kicker, was finally able to get Tucker out of bounds, and the Bills have gotten good returns on the kickoffs all afternoon long.
Marv Levy is very, very high on Earl Tucker as a kickoff return man. He said he makes great decisions. The only problem is he had not received sufficient blocking on a lot of occasions. That time he did, and he turned it into a nice kickoff return.
Spot the ball at the 36-yard line for the first offensive play of the second half. Kelly will put it up. Burkett can't hold it. O'Brien Alston was covering Burkett. Alston, the rookie, number 97, getting his first NFL start today. He's 6'6", 246 pounds, out of the University of Maryland.
He is one specimen, and in fact, all those Colts are big people. But watch Chris Burkett. Breaks free from the line of scrimmage, picked up by Alston. That's dangerous. Grabbed him after that 5-yard area, but Jim Kelly threw the ball behind Chris Burkett. But Alston has to watch out, not grab him after that 5-yard period.
Reed in motion as Kelly hands it off. Mueller on second down scrambles across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Got 3 or 4 yards when it didn't look like he was going to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Craig Swope, credit for the tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. Harmon and Riddick on the field now for the Bills as Mueller goes off on a passing down, 3rd and about 5 to go for the first down. Seven defensive backs in for the Colts. Kelly, complete. Reed, spin out of bounds at the 45-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts. Andre Reed getting free. And Kelly on target. Tullis and Pryor managed to get Reed out of bounds.
Andre Reed, who is second in the AFC in receptions. This is his specialty. Medium range routes. Just runs a 10-yard out pattern. Gets a little separation. Makes a nice sure catch of the football. Just a very positive game by Andre Reed. Willie Tullis was trying to provide coverage. Right there, Reed gets separation on his out pattern. You don't have to be very fast. Just run precise. Make a sharp cut on your pass route.
Mueller hit. Keeps the legs going and takes it to the 40-yard line. Swope and Young finally get him down there. It'll be 2nd and about 5 for the Buffalo Bills. This drive began on the Buffalo 36-yard line, and they quickly have advanced the ball to the 40 of Indianapolis.
You know, the knock on Andre Reed is that he can't stretch a defense. He averaged just under 13 yards per catch coming into this afternoon's football game, but he's got a place in this Bills offense. Thomas, the tailback in the I formation, stopped at about the 35, about a yard short of the first down. You see how far, as Jim Kelly indicates to the sideline. Now we start to see the importance of that 2-minute drive at the end of the half. They score. Now they get the football to start the second half. The 17-point spread, depending on what happens, if they do score in this drive, can dwindle very, very quickly in the National Football League.
Riddick and Byram are into the backfield for the Buffalo Bills on 3rd down and less than a yard. You see the conversions today for Buffalo in 3rd downs. They trail 17-7, opening drive of the second half. Riddick is hit right at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be close to the first down. The Colts did a good job in short yardage of stacking it up right at the line of scrimmage.
Colt linebackers really filled very, very hard. These linebackers average 6'3½", 242 pounds. I mean, we're talking almost offensive line size for linebackers. Watch Barry Krause and Fred Young. Boom! Fred Young fills the hole on Robb Riddick. I mean, we're talking major league hit right there.
Dwayne Bickett and O'Brien Alston also assisting on the play. All the linebackers, it seemed, got a piece of the action, and it'll be close enough that we'll have to measure.
Once again, 6'4½", 6'3½", 242-pound average. Tom, there were offensive linemen that big when I was playing in the NFL.
It is just enough for the first down. So Buffalo, starting the second half on its own 36, picks up a first down in Colt territory. Ball will be spotted on the Indianapolis 34-yard line, actually between the 34 and 35. The 13th first down of the game for Buffalo. Mueller showing some strong running. Kicks up 5 down to the 30. Joe Klecko is in and got part of the tackle, number 73. Mueller said he wanted to be more a part of the offense, and he's getting his chance today and coming through.
He's a big horse from Benedictine College. You know, they ran a veer offense. He was not very sophisticated in the NFL scheme of things. Didn't know what a draw play was. Didn't know how to run pass routes or pick up blitzes on pass protection. The man can run the football.
They said his college playbook had 6 pages. This is Thomas. Thomas has a first down. As the Bills finally get their running game in gear, Mike Pryor makes the tackle on Thomas, but another Bill first down.
The thing I really like about Thurman Thomas is after the first collision by the defense, he always gets a yard or 2 more. He's got great leg drive. Watch number 34 in the blue, finds a seam, gets hit very, very effectively. Watch the leg drive. Picks up an extra 2 or 3 yards. I mean, he was hit right in the face immediately by George Wansley, but just shucked it off.
First down at the 22-yard line. Flags down. Reed catches it. But it looked like the Bills might have jumped again. Metzelaars perhaps was offside, as the penalties have killed the Bills today, and Indianapolis has not committed an infraction. Illegal motion against Buffalo.
Watch at the lower portion of your screen here, the tight end. He breaks his stance, leans forward. That's a penalty. Now, if he had done that and was able to reset himself for a full second.
89 offense, first down.
That's the 7th penalty against the Buffalo Bills for 76 yards.
Now, if he was able to reset himself, Tom, and set himself for a full second before the snap of the football, it would have been legal, because the tight end can move out of a 3-point stance. Offensive lineman can't. But once he broke his 3-point stance, the ball was snapped immediately.
7 for 76 the Bills. The Colts 0 yards in penalties. It sets up a 1st and 15 from the 27 of the Colts. Kelly's pass, tipped, I believe, at the line of scrimmage and intended for Thomas, is incomplete.
Colts brought everybody on that play. They even brought defensive back. They blitzed Eugene Daniel from the cornerback position, as well as outside linebackers and 3 down linemen. They brought 5 on Jim Kelly on that play.
Scott Norwood perhaps will be called on if the Bills cannot pick up a first down. It's 2nd and 15. Kelly across the middle. Great catch by Reed. And the ball's loose. And they're going to rule it down. It'll belong to the Bills. They'll rule the play was dead before the fumble occurred. Acrobatic catch by Andre Reed, about 10 or 11 yards on the play.
Once again over the middle, where Reed is so tough. One-hand catch, controls it, turns it upfield, right amongst the linebackers and defensive backs. Forward progress has already stopped by the time Fred Young stripped the football away from Andre Reed. Here he is flanked out to the left. This is where wide receivers earn their money, over the middle. Lets it clear, comes underneath the linebackers, makes a great one-hand catch. Now he collisions Fred Young. That's where you earn your paycheck, right there.
Reed had a broken left wrist in the preseason, and he says he was down. He's having a great game. He's made some spectacular receptions this afternoon. Reed in motion here on 3rd and 3. Kelly for Reed. Touchdown.
Jim Kelly, the 2nd touchdown pass of the day, just gets rid of the football under pressure. Reed had run a great route. He made Willie Tullis think that he was running inside to the middle of the football field, turned Willie Tullis around, broke back to the corner. Jim Kelly hit him perfectly.
Norwood for the extra point, which would pull the Bills within 3. He got it. 9:28 left in the 3rd quarter, and the Buffalo Bills have closed within 3 of the Colts.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze, STP oil treatment, and new STP Supra wear control. And by Coors Light. There's no slowing down with a silver bullet. It's the right beer now.
Tom Hammond and Dave Lapham at Rich Stadium, where the Buffalo Bills have scored a touchdown. Jim Kelly's second touchdown pass of the day. Andre Reed will make the reception.
Watch the move he makes. Come off the line of scrimmage. Tullis tried to hold him. Reed just broke free. Really poor coverage by Willie Tullis. Great route by Reed.
Norwood's kick taken by Bentley at the 10. Bentley's got some room to the 30 and the 31-yard line. So Jim Kelly, with 2 touchdown passes coming into today's game, has pitched 2 in this contest. And after he threw the last one, he went to say to his receivers, now we've got it going.
That's right. Thank you very much. He said Jim Kelly now 16 of 28, 221 yards, and those 2 touchdowns. Happy young man.
And the last 2 times the Bills have had the football at the end of the first half and the first possession of the second half, they have scored touchdowns to get back in the game. Hogeboom, a quarterback for the Colts, fires complete to the 40. Pat beats the tight end, makes a grab, about a 10-yard gain. Bentley on the stop for the Buffalo Bills, and Hogeboom right back to the air for Indianapolis.
And, you know, the third quarter has been just an odd one, I guess is the best way to describe it for the Colts. They haven't scored all season in the third quarter, but they'd only given up 3 points before the Buffalo Bills scored here on their first drive in the third quarter today.
2nd and 1, they gave 9 yards to Beats on the reception, and Dickerson tries to pick up the first down and does, but not by much. He got a couple, perhaps 3 yards. Let's pause briefly now for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. From Rich Stadium in Buffalo, Tom Hammond, Dave Lapham, the Indianapolis Colts leading the Buffalo Bills 17-14 with 8 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the third quarter of this key AFC Eastern Division game. First down for the Colts from their own 44. Hogeboom's pass complete to Brooks. Brooks has it inside the 45 of the Bills, where Derek Burrows tackles him. It'll be another Colt first down through the air. That one covered 14 yards.
Hogeboom was looking extremely sharp. He's throwing the football with a lot of velocity, really. He's got a well-rested arm, obviously, and he is zinging that football in there to his receivers. A critical drive for the Colts. They have to do something to try to nullify the momentum generated by the Buffalo Bills.
Mark Kelso, the starting free safety of the Bills, is out with a head injury, replaced by Sherman Cocroft, a free agent. Hogeboom goes for it all, intended for Brooks, and incomplete. Derek Burrows stride for stride with Brooks down the sideline. Let's check the progress of the other games in the NFL on our 10-minute ticker. Wild and woolly affair at Riverfront Stadium. Cincinnati 26-19 now over the Jets in the second half. Ickey Woods with a 5-yard touchdown run for the Bengals. Ken O'Brien hit Al Toon for a Jets touchdown. 2nd and 10 for the Colts. That's Booza in motion. Hogeboom in trouble. He'll be ruled in the grasp and control, and a flag goes down. Cornelius Bennett was wrapped around Hogeboom, and they'll rule a sack. Flag is on the play, and Tom Dooley will sort it out.
Take a look at it once again. Bruce Smith gets the initial penetration up inside on Chris Hinton, making Hogeboom step to his outside. Cornelius Bennett catches him from behind Hogeboom in desperation, just throws the football away. Once again, Cornelius Bennett and Hogeboom just shoveling the football away. Dangerous play, but they're going to rule in the grasp.
That'll go in the books as the third sack.
Grounding. Number 7. Loss of down. 3rd down.
Well, it's an intentional grounding penalty against Hogeboom and the Colts. The first penalty against the Colts in the game. And it means it'll be 3rd down and 20.
Yeah, the new wording on intentional grounding is sufficient pressure, and he definitely had sufficient pressure.
Hogeboom under pressure. Intercepted. Colcroft spins out of bounds at about the 36-yard line by Dickerson. Sherman Colcroft, who was signed as a free agent after coming from Kansas City, being waived by the Chiefs, makes the interception for the Bills, who trail by 3.
A performance here.
The Bengals are off to their best start in over a decade, but there'll be no tea party in New England when they battle the Patriots.
Or the hard-nosed Oilers rekindle a bitter rivalry in Steel Town when they battle the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
The Indianapolis Colts have just committed their first turnover of the game. A bad throw by Hogeboom.
Bad throw and pressure provided by Art Still. Bill Brooks, he curled on his pattern, turned it to the inside, and Hogeboom just threw it to deep center field. Sherman Colcroft, he looked like he was the primary receiver on that interception.
Hogeboom with the interception. And the turnovers all even now at 1 apiece, and the momentum shifting to the Bills, who have a first down, trailing 17-14, the ball at their own 37. Mueller. Penalty flag on the play. The Colts. Willie Tullis came up with a football, but a penalty marker down.
The signal code football, but let's see what the penalty is.
Ron Meyer on the Indianapolis sideline awaiting the officials' ruling, and it looks like the Colts are going to have the ball. Hogeboom set to come back on the field.
Holding, number 70 on the offense. Penalty is declined. First down.
So Mueller fumbles. Joe Devlin is guilty of the holding call.
Lead block by Thurman Thomas. I can't see. Well, I guess there was pretty good collision right on the football. Hellman hit right on the football, springing it free.
And Willie Tullis jumps on it for Indianapolis, so the Colts get a break on the second Bills turnover. Light mist falling here at Rich Stadium. The fans have the rain gear out. Second turnover against the Bills. Back-to-back turnovers. First for the Colts, and then the Bills give it right back. Hogeboom's pass complete, I believe, to Bentley. Albert Bentley takes it to the 44-yard line, or the 34-yard line of the Bills, where Cornelius Bennett gets him down.
You know, really most of the pressure on Hogeboom and the other quarterbacks from the as far as the Bills are concerned, has not come from Bruce Smith. So I think Chris Hinton has done a credible job here in this rematch. Last year it went to Bruce Smith. This year Chris Hinton seems to be holding his own very well.
Second and 3 for the Colts. Hogeboom completes it. Complete to the tight end Beach. Wrestled down after picking up a first down by Leonard Smith. Pat Beach is a big target, 6'4", 252. The third leading receiver on this Colts club. He had 8 receptions coming into today's game. Ticker with a score update. As we've seen the momentum shift here at Rich Stadium, just when the Bills seem to have the momentum, they turn the ball over, and the Colts in good position with a first down at the 27. Hogeboom. Knocked free by Nate Odoms. Verdin was the intended receiver, but Odoms had perfect position that time.
He certainly did, Tom. Great position, running stride for stride. You can't ask for better defensive coverage than Nate Odoms provided. Verdin works his way off the line of scrimmage, gets an outside release. Odoms turns and runs with him. Inside position, turns for the football just at the right time. Airborne at the same time as Verdin. Excellent, excellent defensive play.
That's the way they draw it up. Nate Odoms, the only thing he could have done was maybe hold on to the ball for the interception. 11 of 20 for Hogeboom today in relief of Chris Chandler, who is out with a bruised sternum. Dickerson hit, takes the tackle, gets to the outside and is out of bounds. Inside the 25 of the Bills, Sherman Colcroft nudged him out. But Dickerson was hit shortly after receiving the handoff and turned nothing into something. Bennett had him for a moment, but Dickerson got free and has now gained 40 yards on the afternoon. Remember, has been used primarily as a decoy.
Averaging 4 yards a pop, whereas last season's game he averaged less than 2 yards a crack. And Cornelius Bennett, point blank range as Ron Meyer looks on, and he said, nice move by Eric Dickerson. I can't believe Cornelius Bennett missed that open field tackle.
3rd and 5. Pressure. And incomplete. Just off the hand of Colcroft, who was bidding for his second interception. Boozer, the intended receiver, but it was far over his head as Bruce Smith put the pressure on Hogeboom that time.
And the crowd chants, Bruce, 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 in honor of Bruce Smith. And this guy, of course, led the team in sacks last season. He had a sack nullified against the Chicago Bears last week. Of course, he did provide some nice pressure on this one. There's Bruce Smith. Just as Hogeboom releases the football, Bruce Smith nails him between the shoulder blades, throwing his aiming point way off course.
Biasucci will try a 40-yard field goal. He's 1 of 2 today. This one is up, and it's good. So Dean Biasucci with the field goal increases the Indianapolis lead, and it's now 20-14. Indianapolis Colts on the Biasucci field goal up their lead to 4 at 20-14, up their lead to 6, I should say, at 20-14, and the turnover is a powerful thing in the NFL.
Certainly is, Tom. It's a great equalizer, and just when the Bills captured momentum, the Colts recapture it with a turnover. It'll be interesting to see who ends up with the momentum for the rest of the football game.
So just when it looked like the Bills had the momentum, the Colts get the turnover and get the 3 points from Biasucci to make it 20-14. Johnson returns the kick up the sideline. We've seen that several times today. And again, gets pretty good yardage. He'll be marked out of bounds at the 29-yard line where Eugene Daniel took him out. Doubleheader week on NBC. Hope you'll stay tuned. The second half of the doubleheader. Some of you will see Denver against San Francisco. Others, the Steelers against the Cardinals in Phoenix. Stay tuned for doubleheader action here on NBC.
Speaking of fumble recoveries, that turnover, the Bills were number 1 in the AFC, had recovered 7 fumbles before that one, so they do nothing to hurt that number 1 ranking in the AFC.
There are the numbers on Jim Kelly today. 5 minutes, 14 seconds left in the third quarter. Kelly goes deep. Reed is out there. He's got it. Willie Tullis catches him from behind and knocks him out of bounds at about the 13-yard line of Indianapolis.
So much for Andre Reed not being able to get deep. I can't believe the separation that he had on Willie Tullis. Willie Tullis is giving him about a 9-yard cushion, and before he knows it, Andre Reed is right up on his toes and just blows right past him. Willie Tullis looks more like me out there trying to cover Andre Reed.
That's 58 yards. Kelly to Reed, and Ron Meyer's team now backed up in the shadow of its goal line, where the Bills have a first down. Mark the ball at the 12-yard line of Indianapolis. Thomas stacked up and driven back by the Colt defense. Donnell Thompson leads the white-shirted charge of Indianapolis. They were ready for Thomas that time.
On that prior play, Willie Tullis just kept squatting, waiting for Andre Reed to make his cut to run the short, intermediate routes that he normally runs. Then all of a sudden, before he realized it, Andre Reed was blowing by him, and he said, holy mackerel, this guy's going deep, and it was too late.
Second down coming up for Marv Levy and his Bills. No gain in the last play. Spotted again at the 12. Clock ticking down, third quarter. Kelly complete to Reed across the middle. He's got the score.
Great block thrown by Thurman Thomas to allow Andre Reed to take that into the end zone.
Andre Reed with his second touchdown catch of the day.
Andre Reed comes across the middle. There he is at about the 7-yard line. Makes the catch. Watch 34 in the blue. Boom. Downfield block. Knocks swope right to the ground, giving an entranceway for Andre Reed right to the corner of the end zone. Great block by Thurman Thomas.
Extra point. Norwood for the lead. It's good. Jim Kelly has thrown 3 touchdown passes today, and the Bills have the lead. Tom Hammond and Dave Lapham at Rich Stadium, where the Buffalo Bills once trailed Indianapolis 17-0. But behind the arm of Jim Kelly, they've taken a 21-20 lead. Albert Bentley, number 20, is deep for Indianapolis, as Scott Norwood is set to kick it off. Kelly had thrown only 2 touchdown passes coming into today's game and has 3 already with 4:14 left in the third quarter. Bentley at the 15. Dodges forward to the 27-yard line. And another fight breaks out. Doesn't appear to be too serious, just some pushing and shoving and no flags down. Tom Dooley with a sack.
Tom Dooley said, "Hey, Butch, roll. Get to the sideline. I'm the one telling you. Get out of here."
First down, Indianapolis. There's the ticker. Houston has taken the lead on a Brent Peace run, the Houston quarterback. Here's Hogeboom for Indianapolis on first down. Complete to the tight end, Boyer. Boyer to the 34. Shane Conlon and Leonard Smith combine on the stop. That last scoring drive took only 3 plays to cover 70 yards and just a minute off the clock, as Kelly hit his 3rd touchdown pass of the day, and Reed gathered in his 2nd touchdown. Reed has 6 receptions, 119 yards against the defense of that man, Ron Meyer of Indianapolis.
Boy, big day for Reed.
Gary Hogeboom facing a 2nd and 3. Dickerson got the first down, lowers his head and pounds across the 40. Cornelius Bennett, hanging on for dear life, finally takes him down.
That's what makes Eric Dickerson a more effective runner, is they're throwing the football when they want to rather than when they have to. It opens up running lanes for Eric Dickerson. Very deep in the I formation, has great field vision, a nice seam, and nobody accelerates to the hole faster than Eric Dickerson. Hit Cornelius Bennett head on and took him downfield a yard. He's got tremendous power.
Andre Reed getting his ankle taped on the Buffalo sideline. With the game he's having, they can't afford to lose him. Hogeboom pumps, then fires, incomplete. Beach made a stab at it, but it fell to the turf. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League and intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the expressed written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Buffalo Bills, all rights reserved.
Once again, Tom, the Colts continue to throw on first down. They've done that more this game than they probably have the entire season.
And it's been effective for them for the most part. Ron Meyer changing his tactics. The team trails by 1 with 2.5 left in the third quarter. Hogeboom under pressure, completes it to Beach. Beach rambles across the 50 and into Bill territory, down at the 48-yard line by Leonard Smith.
That time, quarterback Hogeboom and tight end Beach were on the same page. It was a hot read. Cornelius Bennett blitzed, Beach released. Both read the linebacker blitz and made a nice little reception out of it. Here it is. Hogeboom sees the blitz, sees Cornelius Bennett coming, as does Pat Beach. Goes to it right away. Over Cornelius Bennett's outstretched hands. Pat Beach makes the catch. Positive yardage. First down. 11 yards to be exact. Beach, former All-American from Washington State in his 6th year in the NFL. A minute 53 on the clock, third quarter. First down for the Colts at the Bill 47. Dickerson. Hit, bounces off, keeps it going down
close to the 40-yard line. Scott Riddick finally gets him to the turf, but Dickerson was hit, bounced off a couple of would-be tacklers, and made it into a good gain.
And those tacklers were defensive linemen, Bruce Smith and Fred Smerlis, and Dickerson looked like a human pinball. Inherent pinball tendencies there, just redirected himself a couple of times, squeezed through the hole, picked up 6-7 yards. Nice run by Dickerson.
He's up to 55 yards on the afternoon, and held to only 19 against the Bills in December at the Hoosier Dome during the '87 season. Hogeboom under pressure, intended for Dickerson and incomplete. Eric Dickerson always draws the crowd, whether he's carrying the football or trying to receive a pass.
Absolutely. He's going to draw some serious attention. Here he is in that I formation again. Releases on his pass route. Big gets nailed as soon as he gets off the line of scrimmage. Tries to work toward the sideline. Then for good measure gets nailed once more. And that's Leonard Smith, who they acquired in the trade from the Phoenix Cardinals. He said, "Hey, Eric, just want to let you know I'm around, partner."
3rd and 4 for Hogeboom, who's hit on 13 at 25. Light rain continues to fall here at Rich Stadium. Brooks goes in motion, comes back the other way. Incomplete. Dwight Drain made a diving stab at it after Mark Boyer saw the pass go off his hands, and the Bills almost had another turnover.
And this is what pass rush will do for you. Bruce Smith defeats his man, gets right up the middle, hurries the throw from Hogeboom. Deflection almost resulted in an interception. Sometimes pressures are more key than sacks because they create turnovers. Rather than a sack and loss of yardage, you come up with the football.
On 4th down, Ron Stark is on for the Colts. Has not had an exceptional day punting. Tucker is deep for the Bills, and he'll watch this one sail toward the end zone. It hits short, bounces inside the 10, and the Colts will back them up once more. The ball will be down to around the 4 or 5 yard line. Cliff Odom, the disgruntled linebacker, down on special teams to make the down for the Indianapolis Colts. A 36-yard Stark punt, but downed well inside the 20 of the Bills.
And here's the play that caused that punt. This was the 3rd down play. Deflected. Receiver went up Boyer as well as he could. Really, I hate to be real critical, but that very possibly could have been an interception by Dwight Drain.
Well, of course, we're enjoying football this afternoon, but on the horizon, the World Series. Baseball's Fall Classic coming up on NBC. Don't forget to tune in for World Series action. Jamie Mueller carries for the Buffalo Bills. John Hand, as the clock goes inside 40 seconds for the 3rd quarter, Hand gets the tackle for the Indianapolis Colts.
And boy, Jamie Mueller had both hands around the football that time. He's the one that fumbled. He was the running back that fumbled on the prior possession, before the touchdown, I should say, 2 possessions ago by the Bills. This time, he had that thing clamped.
Less than 20 seconds to go in the 3rd. 2nd and 5 for Buffalo. Mueller again met at the pass for the Colt defense. You could hear the collision all the way up here.
That was serious. And that was Fred Young once again. He's got a big hit ability. He's just got tremendous hip snap, a low center of gravity, 6'1", 233 pounds, like a human bowling ball.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the Bills 21, the Colts 20. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Start the 4th quarter, the crowd of 80,000 weathering the rain here at Rich Stadium, and the Buffalo Bills leading the Indianapolis Colts 21-20. 3rd and 4. Kelly in the shotgun. There's the shovel pass to Riddick, and Riddick will be close to the 1st down. John Hand stopping Riddick close to the 1st down marker.
Once again, very safe call. The Bills said, hey, the Colts, you try it, we're going to take it. In this situation, in the shadow of their own end zone, the worst that can happen is an incompletion, not a fumble. So if they execute it, they're in good shape for potential 1st down. If not, it's just a mere incompletion. It's a very safe, heady call. Little shovel pass by Kelly to Robb Riddick. He controls the football. He double clutches it a little bit, though. He did have trouble controlling it. I think he is short.
Ball might be getting a little slippery in the rain as we measure for the 1st down. Big measurement here. The Bills would like to keep the ball, now have to punt from deep in their own territory. And by half the length of the football, they have enough for the first down.
Bad eyes. That's the thing that goes first, Tom, is the eyeballs. I thought it was a little short, but...
Well, actually, I think the Bills did too, because they had the punter Kidd on the field, and he comes off, replaced by Kelly. And the Bills will keep their drive going with a first down from their own 16-yard line.
Nice call. Nice call by Marv Levy and his staff.
Fumble. Still loose.
What a grease pig that one was. Man.
Let's sort it out.
The rain was definitely a factor on that fumble, Tom. That ball's slick.
And the Colts have it. Ron Hogeboom with some last-minute instructions from Ron Meyer. It was Barry Krause that came up with a loose ball. Watch it as Mueller will cough it up.
Never got the handoff from Jim Kelly. Mueller, that's his second fumble. This thing is all over the ground. Everybody, look at 1, 2, 3, 4 Colts get it. Jim Kelly has a clean shot at it. He can't control it. Then strong hands. Defensive lineman and linebacker hands get in there. Right now it's just a wrestle for the football. Strongest hands and wrists come away with it.
And Barry Krause had the strongest as the Bills turn it over for the third time this afternoon. And Krause with a fumble recovery has given the Colts a first down at the 15 of the Bills. Dickerson. Not much, maybe a yard.
Of course, that's Buffalo's third turnover, and the Colts only have one. And as we said before, that's the great equalizer.
Check the scores again. Not much change. Jim Everett having a big day for the Rams in that blowout against the Falcons. 2nd and 9 now for Indianapolis. 13:50 left in the game. Colts trail by 1. Hogeboom swings it to Dickerson, to the 15, to the 10, and out of bounds. Scott Riddick runs Dickerson out of bounds as he picks up 4 yards on the play. It'll be third down coming up for the Colts, who trail 21-20.
Scary assignment for a linebacker to have Eric Dickerson 1-on-1 out in the open field. Here he comes from his tailback position, just a little swing pass. He's an outlet receiver, catches the football. Radicek's got him 1-on-1 in the open field. Man, does a nice job, uses the sideline as the 12th man.
3rd and 5 for Indianapolis. Dickerson to the 5 and close to the first down. Leonard Smith kept Dickerson out of the end zone, but it'll be close to the first down, and we'll measure it. Crucial one coming up here. And if the Colts are short, will you kick the field goal for the lead, or you try for the touchdown?
I kick the field goal for the lead if they are short, Tom. You can't take those potential winning points off the scoreboard or not give them an opportunity. Look at Dickerson on this play. He makes a little stutter step in the backfield to get things underway, finds a seam, and then his pure acceleration, lowers his head. Tell you, that's respect. Your coaching staff has respect for you. They are just a little short. Boy, we're talking 2 lengths of the chain short.
They're an inch or 2 inches short. And Ron Meyer,
kick the field goal. There you go.
has sent Dean Biasucci onto the field.
Well, Tom, it's unbelievable. It's 3rd and 5. You're inside the 10-yard line where the yardage is the toughest. What do? Give the ball to your tailback. Eric Dickerson has tremendous respect of his coaching staff to get the football in a running situation with that down and distance at that field position.
This will be a 23-yard chip shot for Biasucci, who's hit 2 of 3 today. This could give the Colts the lead. And it's good. So the Indianapolis Colts seesaw back on top after the 23-yard field goal by Dean Biasucci. 13:07 left in the game. Colts lead by 2.
Today's game is brought to you by Michelob. One taste will tell you why the night belongs to Michelob. By Mazda and the exciting new Mazda cars and trucks for $19.89. And by Diet Coke. Enjoy Diet Coke. You're going to drink it just for the taste of it.
In the rain at Rich Stadium, Tom Hammond and Dave Lapham, where the Colts have taken a 23-21 lead on the Bills. 13 of their 23 points today have come off turnovers, and the Colts' last 6 points, 40 and 22-yard field goals, the result of 2 fumbles by Jamie Mueller of the Bills. Here's Biasucci's kick. Johnson on the sideline once again. And to the 25-yard line. Looks like they're kicking away from Tucker. Every kickoff has gone to Johnson down that sideline.
Here we are in the 4th quarter, Tom, with the Indianapolis Colts having a lead. In 3 out of the 4 losses the Colts have had this season, they've either been tied or had the lead in the 4th quarter, been unable to hold the opponent. Let's see what happens this afternoon.
These two teams have been involved in close games, and another close one here at Rich Stadium. And Jim Kelly and the Bills with a first down at the 26-yard line of Buffalo. Kelly's pass to Reed, knocked away at the last moment by Chris Good. The second-year man out of Alabama made a good defensive play there. Let's take a look at the quarterback comparison today. The Colts, Chandler started. Hogeboom came in. They're 21 of 38, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kelly is 19 of 32, 295 yards, 3 scores, and 1 picked off.
And the Colts, they'd only attempted to pass 21 times coming in, and only had 128 yards passing coming into today's game, throwing the ball well.
2nd and 10. On the out pattern, that'll be ruled incomplete. Thomas was juggling the ball as he went out of bounds, covered by O'Brien Alston. Good call by the officials. He did not have control.
He was right there, right on top of the call, made a good call. Kelly throws the sideline pattern. You have to have total control. Thurman Thomas still juggling the football, never gets both feet down while having simultaneous control of the football.
3rd and 10 for Buffalo. Harmon and Riddick join Kelly in the backfield. 3rd down conversions you see. It's 3rd and 10 here. Kelly complete to the 40 and the 41-yard line. Trumaine Johnson goes up to make the grab. Mike Pryor hanging on, but it's 15 yards, and Johnson has a first down catch.
Tremendous catch by Trumaine Johnson. What he did was he used his body as a shield for the defender. He knew he was going to get hit. Breaks it down inside to the hash mark. Little curl pattern. Look how he keeps his body between the football and defensive back Mike Pryor on that play. Tremendous play by Trumaine Johnson.
And the Bills with a first down at the 41. Thomas picks up 4 yards, and a penalty flag goes down. Donnell Thompson.
Looks like it could be a face mask, Tom.
Donnell Thompson, it looked like he might have had hold of the face mask of Thomas. And that's what the call will be.
I think it'll be a 5-yarder, not a 15-yarder. It wasn't a flagrant.
Face mask, number 55, first down.
They called Kraus for the face mask violation. And a first down for Buffalo. The ball rests just short of midfield at about the 49-yard line of the Bills. There's Kraus with a face mask.
Unusual, a 1st and 3. They gain the yardage plus the yardage of the run plus the face mask penalty, a 1st and 3 situation.
Thomas pitches back to Kelly. Lost it. Reed couldn't get it. Reed turned all the way around trying to come up with a pass. Chris Good was beaten on the play, but the pass was behind Reed.
That's right. Andre Reed, his reaction was he turned around in disbelief to Jim Kelly. He should have let him further to the sideline. Andre Reed cutting all the way across the field. By this time, Kelly's already received the lateral back from Thurman Thomas. Really threw the ball behind him. If he had led him more to the sideline, it would have been a nice long completion. Here it is once again. He makes a nice adjustment to the football. Has to do a 360 in midair, but if the ball was led properly, would have been a completion.
Chris Good has been tested today by the Bills. It's 2nd and 2. Mueller, both hands wrapped around the football that time after fumbling twice, and he bangs ahead for the first down. Barry Krause pins him after he got 2 or 3 yards. Seattle continuing to beat Cleveland, and of course the fans of the Colts and the Bills glad to see the Jets on the short end of the score.
Washington
here at Rich Stadium.
Washington had a big lead on Dallas.
Here at Rich Stadium, 11 minutes left in the game, and the Colts leading the Bills 23-21. Kelly turns and fires short of the first down to Reed, who's taken out of bounds around the 40-yard line of the Colts. Eugene Daniel made sure he didn't get enough yardage for the first down.
Once again, this tests the arm strength of an NFL quarterback. The ball's actually in the air 30 to 35 yards, even though it's a 6-yard out pattern. Andre Reed makes a sharp cut. Look at the zip on this football. Boom. Right between the 8 and the 3 for Andre Reed. That tests the strength of Jim Kelly, and he passed with flying colors. Great arm strength.
2nd and 5. Marv Levy patrols the Bills sideline. The ball is at the 41 of the Colts. There are the numbers on Kelly. Mueller again. Big hole up the middle. Inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Jamie Mueller pounding straight ahead for first down yardage.
Oh, tip of the cap on that one. Center Ken Hall, left guard Jim Richer, and right guard Tim Fogler did a nice job up the middle, because this is just north and south by the big fullback. Cut back, right up the center, right up the heart of the Colts defense. Great operation in there by the Bills' interior line.
Alston, Darby, and Hand. It took 3 of them to bring Mueller down that time. 48 yards rushing. That last one good for 12. Mueller again. This time he's met and driven back by the center of the Colt line, and linebacker O'Brien Alston also getting a piece of Mueller.
Mueller's a powerful package. 6'1", 225 pounds. Very, very developed musculaturely. He's got an NFL body, no doubt about that.
What was that again?
Musculaturely. I think Mrs. Riley,
but can you spell it?
My junior high school English teacher. Is that a word? I'm not sure.
2nd and 6 coming up for the Buffalo Bills. They trail 23-21. The ball at the 26 of Indianapolis. Plenty of time for Kelly. Got a man wide open and knocked down at the last minute. Great recovery by Dwayne Bickett, who used that great speed that he has at the outside linebacker position to knock the pass away when it appeared that Burkett, who is injured on the play, would have a safe zone to really get the reception.
Yeah, Burkett's laying prone. He's right now, the phone's ringing, and know that nobody's on the other end. Long distance phone call. Here he comes. Boom, gets hit. Hits head first, and then he's hit by Ronnie Harmon. Right now the bells are ringing. Nobody's on the other end of the receiver. We'll see how he is when we come back.
Bengals are off to their best start in over a decade, but there'll be no tea party in New England when they battle the Patriots.
Or the hard-nosed Oilers rekindle a bitter rivalry in Steel Town when they battle the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Chris Burkett of the Bills is up and apparently okay after being shaken up a bit on that last play. 76,018 at Rich Stadium, where the Bills face a 3rd and 8. Kelly's pass incomplete, intended for Trumaine Johnson, and the fans want an interference call. Look at Johnson hopping. He wanted the flag too. Freddie Robinson was close on his heels, and Johnson thought he might have been interfered with.
Yeah, Johnson's definitely, his point is that his pass route was redirected downfield well beyond the 5-yard legal bump zone area. There you see 86. He was hit. He was just clotheslined as he tried to make his break. That was Freddie Robinson, who was in the dime situation, and that one got by the official.
Norwood with a 45-yard field goal that could give the Bills the lead. fouls it. A good job by Kidd, the holder, who pulled down a high snap, and the Bills lead 24-23. A tremendous football game in Buffalo. The two coaches, Marv Levy and Ron Meyer, really into it. Norwood with a kick, a tough kick in the rain, has given the Bills once again the lead.
45-yard field goal in the rain. Norwood, he's kicked the most field goals in the NFL. That's his 15th. Coming into today's game, he had 47 points. The band's getting into a little Jaws action. Norwood had 47 points, scored 6 more today. He's now got 53. He's having a heck of a season.
And has set a Bills record by scoring in 34 straight games. Norwood's kick will be taken by Albert Bentley at about the 8-yard line. He's buried at the 20. Steve Tasker, who went to the Pro Bowl as a special teams performer a year ago, leads the charge for the Buffalo Bills.
So did Mark Pike.
Tom Hammond and Dave Lapham here at Rich Stadium with David Stern, our producer, and Jack Simon, our director, and we're getting into it too.
We are. This is the emotion of this is tough to get around here. Here's big defensive lineman Mark Pike. He's a wedge buster. Gets in there, throws people around like they weigh 20 pounds. Gets in on the tackle. Tasker made the first hit, and Pike got involved also.
First down for the Colts. Hogeboom will go to the air. Under pressure, he throws it incomplete. Hogeboom just got it away. Pressure came from Bruce Smith. Eric Dickerson, the intended receiver, but they put the pressure on Hogeboom that time. Chris Chandler started the game at quarterback for the Colts and did an excellent job directing them to a 17-0 lead, but he suffered a bruised sternum and was replaced by Gary Hogeboom. Eric Dickerson has carried 14 times for 59 yards today, a 4.2 yard per carry average. Hogeboom, short drop, throws it incomplete. It's short hop, the intended receiver, and a flag goes down. Brooks was the intended receiver, and Sherman Cocroft holds his hands out to the official saying, "What did I do?"
Illegal use of hands, illegal chuck.
The penalties have been costly to Buffalo.
Illegal contact, number 50 defense, first down.
It's called on Ray Bentley.
Gary Hogeboom has been hit on both passes that he threw by Bruce Smith. And watch this move. Works his way inside. Boom, big hit that time by Riddick on the blitz. Bruce Smith was around Hogeboom. I'll tell you, pressures are just as important as sacks. Make the quarterback hurry his reads. They can result in interceptions.
Give the Colts a first down at their own 25-yard line. Hogeboom again under pressure. Ball's loose. That could be a touchdown. Bennett.
Yes, it should be. They did not signal incompletion.
No signal as yet.
First down, Bills.
It'll be the Bills' ball, but not a touchdown. Hogeboom was hit. He spun around. The ball came free. It bounced off a Colt and then was picked up by Bennett.
Watch Bruce Smith. Grabs Hogeboom, spins him around, grabs his right arm, and the ball is totally free. Hogeboom was trying to get into a throwing motion, and he just spun the ball free. Buffalo's football. Now the question is, why is this not a touchdown? Touched right there by the offensive lineman. Cornelius Bennett comes in and stakes it away from Joel Patton. Why is it? Maybe because Patton touched it. Are they going to rule that possession? They can't. I wonder why that's not a touchdown.
A backward pass, it cannot be advanced. First down.
Backward pass.
Thank you, Tom Dooley, for the explanation. Bruce Smith was the man responsible for the mayhem in the Colts backfield, and the Bills have it in excellent position. It's the second turnover against the Colts today. Buffalo has turned it over 3 times.
Here comes Bruce Smith from the right of your screen. Turns Hogeboom around. Backward pass cannot be advanced. If it's a pass, why isn't it an incompletion? That's a fumble. I've never heard backward pass.
A backward pass is a lateral, right?
Yeah, and that should be a fumble. A lateral that's not executed as a fumble. I don't know about. I just don't know that rule. That's a new rule on me. turns Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith turns Gary Hogeboom around. They rule it a backward pass. Can't be advanced. He should be an eligible receiver. Offensive lineman. I don't know. Backward pass is a new term on me.
Cornelius Bennett came up with it for the Bills.
I think we're taking another look at this. It could be Cornelius just lobbying for a touchdown.
Ralph Moorcroft is the replay official here at Rich Stadium today. And when the story of this game is written, it'll be the turnovers that'll be so important.
Most definitely. That's the story every week. Giveaway, takeaway. The ratio is key.
Now Tom Dooley is coming over to discuss it with Marv Levy.
Marv saying, hey, why is that not a touchdown? That was my first reaction. Cornelius Bennett took it in the end zone. I've never heard backward pass can't be advanced.
And now Dooley is going to talk on the phone directly with Ralph Moorcroft, the replay official.
As I said, Tom, a backward pass should be incomplete. If it's a backward pass, as you say, that's a lateral. A lateral is a fumble. A fumble can be advanced. So I don't understand it.
We'll take a look at it from ground level.
Here we go again. Bruce Smith turns Hogeboom around. He tries to throw the football. He throws it backwards. The referee either has to rule that Hogeboom was in a throwing motion or it's a fumble. One way or the other. It's either an incompletion or a fumble, but if it's a fumble, it should be a touchdown.
Look at all the Bills hovered around Tom Dooley, lobbying their case like a bunch of Philadelphia lawyers.
Tom is trying to get this one sorted out. Look at Cornelius is saying, you got to give me 6. Old 55 right there is saying, that's a touchdown. It's got to be.
Here we go. Watch the coach's reaction. Tom Dooley, tell us what happened.
After further review, the play will stand. First down.
What's the ruling? What is the ruling? I'd like one more clarification. Backward pass. I don't understand that one.
Well, Jim Kelly and company will try to render the decision moot if they can get into the end zone here. 8:47 left. First and goal at the 9 for Buffalo, leading by 1. Thomas dances his way to the 7. Down at the bottom of the stack, Donnell Thompson. Help from John Hand as well to bring down Thomas.
Once again, though, the nightmare continues for the Colts. It's almost like a script that's written on a weekly basis. Here they find themselves in a bad situation once again in the fourth quarter in a tight ball game.
They need to hold him out of the end zone. They trail by 1. A touchdown would make it awfully tough to catch up with 8:10 left. Kelly on the bootleg. Stops at the 2.
I have a feeling Jamie Mueller went the wrong way, Tom. Jim Kelly turned around looking for somebody to hand the football off to, and when Jamie Mueller wasn't there, he said, I'm going to take it on my own. Watch on the replay. Jim Kelly turns. Where's Jamie? Uh-oh. I better take this football and get to the outside. Pump fakes a headsy move right there, trying to freeze the defense, lowers his shoulder and tries to get as much positive yardage as he could. Watch, Jamie Mueller's supposed to come right. Kelly says, oh, where are you going, Jamie? He gets out there as best he can. Run pass option. Really makes a nice play out of nothing.
Carl Byram, a good blocker, is in. It's 3rd and goal. The ball resting between the 1 and 2 yard lines. And Kelly calls a timeout. So Jim Kelly will come to the sideline to discuss the play call with Marv Levy. A crucial 3rd and goal coming up for the Buffalo Bills, who lead the Colts 24-23 with 7:13 left in the game. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, stay tuned for the second half of our football doubleheader. Some of you will see the Denver Broncos take on the San Francisco 49ers. Others will see the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Phoenix Cardinals. That's NFL doubleheader action coming up next here on NBC.
Cornelius Bennett getting a little drink saying, are they going to give me the touchdown or aren't they? Let's have a little celebration. Now they didn't give it to me, son of a gun. He was a running back in high school. He wanted to get on that scoreboard with a touchdown.
In fact, Biscuit, as they call him, because he used to love to eat biscuits with syrup on him down in Birmingham, was recruited as a tight end at Alabama. Switched to linebacker, and what a linebacker he is. 3rd and goal, the ball between the 1 and the 2. Bills lead by 1. Kelly lofts it. Incomplete. Butch Roll, the tight end, was the intended receiver. Craig Swope defending for the Colts. And it'll be field goal time with Norwood on to try to add 3 to the Buffalo lead.
You really have to take your hats off to the Indianapolis Colts defense. They really bowed their backs when they had to, kept the Bills out of the end zone, limiting this opportunity to a field goal at best if they do execute it. Nice job by the defense.
It'll just be 19 yards on the field goal attempt. Norwood 1 of 2 today. And the kick is good. So the Buffalo Bills take advantage of the Indianapolis Colts turnover and add 3 to their lead. But as you mentioned, the Colts with a good defensive stand, and they're still in the ballgame.
Exactly what that defensive stand did, Tom. The Colts only have to score a touchdown to take the lead. If they had if the Colts defense had permitted a touchdown, the Colts offense would have had to score twice. Now, really, they only have to score once to recapture the lead. That's a big, big circumstance with only 7 minutes to go in the football game.
Well, remember, the Bills have really been putting the rush on Gary Hogeboom lately. And what can the Colts do to try to negate that pass rush of the Bills that's been so ferocious here in the second half?
I think what they should do on this drive is utilize the screen pass and draws, mix it up a little bit.
Cincinnati Bengals apparently on their way to victory over the Jets. Chicago has it wrapped up, it would appear, and the Rams with a big blanking of the Atlanta Falcons. Minnesota edged Tampa Bay only by 1. Albert Bentley, very dangerous return man, is deep for the Colts. And Norwood will boot it off for the Buffalo Bills. That last pass ruled a lateral, and a lateral unable to be advanced. Bentley at the 10. Hit and dropped at the 25. Wayne Davis on special teams, getting some help downfield from Butch Roll. And the Colts will start from their own 25-yard line. There you see the records coming into this game, a crucial game for the Colts to have any chance of repeating as divisional champs. They must win today. You see that the odds already are stacked against them. A loss today would just about eliminate them. Hogeboom, play action pass. Lets it go as he's hit, and it's caught by Brooks. Brooks at the 39 with a diving catch. Burrows defending on the play, but somehow Hogeboom got rid of it. And Brooks makes a first down catch and then limps back to the huddle, 13 yards on the play.
Boy, that's a big-time play by Hogeboom. Little play action. The pass rush, that play action means nothing now. Bruce Smith still comes. He gets rid of that football. Look at that. Look at where Brooks catches the football about 6 inches off the ground. Hogeboom gets nailed by Bruce Smith. He can't follow through on his throwing motion because Bruce Smith is right in his face and still completes the ball.
First down at the 39. Dickerson to the 45-yard line. A 6-yard gain before Darryl Talley puts the hit on him.
Play action fakes almost meaningless right now, Tom. The Buffalo Bills they'll bring 4, 5, and 6 people rushing Gary Hogeboom at quarterback. Really put everybody in maximum pass blocking position. Don't play action fake.
5 minutes, 45 seconds left in the game. Buffalo leading Indianapolis 27-23. Dickerson trying to get outside. Cuts out of bounds right at the first down marker. And Nate Odoms made sure he went out.
Pretty good job down there by Clarence Verdin, shielding Odoms away from Eric Dixon to allow the first down.
With a towel on his head is Chris Chandler, the rookie quarterback. Got the Colts off to a great start.
They only have 2 quarterbacks activated.
Jack Trudeau is not activated this week and is contemplating knee surgery. So Hogeboom and Chandler, the 2 quarterbacks, and Chandler already out with a bruised sternum. First down. Hogeboom buried. Fred Smerlis, the 10-year veteran out of Boston College, the veteran nose tackle, with the 3rd sack of the day for the Buffalo Bills. He beat Ben Hutt to sack Hogeboom, and the jaws of death indeed.
Ben Hutt gets up limping a little bit. Here's Hogeboom, takes his drop. Fred Smerlis goes inside, really gets good penetration inside between Dixon and Ray Donaldson for the sack. Fred Smerlis, a happy young man about that. A rejuvenated player. Yeah.
A happy young man.
You know, the front 3 for the Buffalo Bills, Smerlis, Still, and Smith, are all Pro Bowlers.
Hogeboom on 2nd and 16. Intercepted. Leonard Smith. And the Bills will have it in Colt territory.
I think Derek Burrows got the initial tip, and then Leonard Smith, the smart defensive back that he is, they work on this tip drill. Here's Derek Burrows working on Bellini. They get the ball downfield in front of him. That's the tip. The ball has already been tipped by Derek Burrows. He was going to Bellini, and Leonard Smith made the catch.
Leonard Smith, who's been a Pro Bowl alternate the last 2 years with Phoenix, coming over to the Bills in a trade.
There's the tip by Burrows, and the pickoff by Smith.
And he took it back 14 yards to the Bills now. Give it to Jamie Mueller, and they'll play it safe in the rain. Janelle Thompson made the stop. They're going to work on the clock, which shows 4:48 left. Marv Levy's team in front, 27-23. Tough day for Hogeboom, who's really felt the pressure from the Bills' rush. 3 turnovers apiece, and they've been big in the game.
They've been a tremendous factor. Boy, as I say, right now the Indianapolis Colts are looking around saying, this is unbelievable. Who's going to make the next mistake? Not me, I hope. Just a negative feeling.
Kelly hands it to Mueller. No, he didn't. Kelly still got it. And he slides down after picking up a Bill first down.
Great call. Great move by Jim Kelly. He faked the Dickens out of Freddie Robinson. He was out in the open field one-on-one. Watch the play. Play fake to Jamie Mueller. Everybody goes to the right. All the Colts go to the right. There's Jim Kelly with the football, number 12. Watch this move. Little dipsy-do fake. Takes it inside. Hook slide for positive gain. Here it is once again from the end zone. Look at this fake. Executed very well. Look at the Colts. They still don't know where the football is. Great fake inside by Kelly. Does a nice job.
First down at the 33 of Indianapolis. Thomas to the 26-yard line. Barry Krause at the bottom of the stack for the Colts. Clock down to 3:15, and the Bills moving the football, leading 27-23.
And the Bills' offensive line senses the kill right now. They're really coming off the football, reestablishing the line of scrimmage a couple of yards downfield. The running backs have a positive game before they even have to make their first cut.
Now inside the final 3 minutes. They're the timeout situation. The Bills with 2 left. The Colts have their full complement of 3. Play clock down to 10 seconds. Four seconds on the play clock as Mueller gets the outside and is taken out of bounds about the 15-yard line of Indianapolis. 11 yards for Jamie Mueller.
Nice move by Mueller, bouncing it outside. They've been hurting him up the middle, so the Colts stacked the middle. Jamie Mueller said, okay, I'll go outside then. Dipped his shoulder for an extra 3 yards. The point of attack was sealed to the inside, just bumped it to the outside. A nice heads-up run.
Ron Meyer, Marv Levy sweating this one out. Levy has the upper hand, 2:34 remaining. His team leading, and with a first down at the 15 of the Colts. Thomas stumbles forward to the 10. Barry Krause tripped him up.
Once again, no gang tackling going on out there at all, Tom. It's one-on-one tackling situations. Looks like the steam has been taken out of the Colts a little bit. Here comes Thurman Thomas. Nice trap block by Jim Richer. Thomas, look at the balance. He hurdles himself in the air, puts his left hand down, catches himself, and gains another 2 yards with that move.
And the Colts have taken their first time out of the second half. It stops the clock with 2:24 left. And the Bills will have it 2nd and 5 at the 10-yard line of Indianapolis.
Once again, the onus is on the Colts to hold the Bills to a field goal. That way, the Colts offense still has an opportunity to tie the football game and send it into overtime. If the Bills score a touchdown on this possession, it's really, really difficult for the Colts to come back.
At the conclusion of this one from Buffalo, you'll see either the Broncos taking on the 49ers or the Steelers against the Cardinals. Doubleheader action here on NBC. The Colts have given it a gallant effort, but on the verge of going down to their 5th defeat of the season if the Bills get in the end zone here. 2nd and 5 from the 10 of Indianapolis. Mueller stops short of the goal line at the 1-yard line. Mike Pryor made a saving tackle, but Mueller with determined effort rambled all the way to the 1.
Great execution on the Buffalo Bills right side of the offensive line. Joe Devlin and Tim Vogler high-fiving a little bit as Jamie Mueller is. Watch the offensive line come off the ball. Look at that running lane for big Jamie Mueller. Great execution once again by center Kent Hull, Tim Vogler at right guard, Joe Devlin at right tackle. Boy, it's do or die time for the Indianapolis Colts.
Buffalo Bills sideline. They've gotten their running game in gear today after 0 yards rushing against the Bears a week ago. Thomas for 48, Mueller for 70, a combined 118 yards. Meanwhile, Eric Dickerson and the Colts hoping that against all odds the defense can keep them out of the end zone and give the offense one more chance.
And the constant for the Bills, Jim Kelly, a quarterback, he's performed very well today also. 21 of 39, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
1st and goal for Buffalo at the Colt 1-yard line. They lead 27-23, 2 minutes to play. Riddick for the touchdown.
Look at the line blocking here. Riddick never gets knocked off his feet, really never gets touched by a white jersey till he's well into the end zone. That's excellent, excellent execution on a goal line situation. Well, you don't see that very often. Once again, Robb Riddick takes the football. Look at the trap block by Tim Vogler, 65, and a lead block in there by Jamie Mueller. And Robb Riddick never gets touched as he goes through the line of scrimmage. On the 2-yard line, that's highly, highly unusual.
Norwood for the extra point. The extra point is good. So the Buffalo Bills have taken a 34-23 lead over the Indianapolis Colts with 1 minute and 57 seconds remaining. Let's check the other scores now. Bengals remain the only unbeaten team in the NFL. Houston squeaks one out over the Chiefs. Low-scoring game. Green Bay with a big lead, some surprising scores. And here at Rich Stadium, the celebration is underway as the Bills on the verge of going 5-1, and they'll stay in first place in the AFC East. Dave, the return of Tim Vogler off injured reserve to his customary right guard spot I think has really played a big part in the success of the Bills running game today.
That's a tremendous point, Tom. You know, they had to make 2 moves when Tim Vogler went down. Wolford moved to right guard, and Burton moved to left tackle. When you have to make 2 moves for 1 injury, that's a tough deal. It disrupts the continuity of your offensive line. Now Vogler comes back, and Wolford goes back to his usual position.
Bentley is deep for the Colts. And the turnovers, as Norwood gets set to kick, have been very big in this game. Well, our Budweiser most valuable player for today will be Jim Kelly, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Kelly with 3 touchdown passes today, 2 of them to Andre Reed. And Kelly had only 2 touchdown passes coming into today's game for the whole season. Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. Bentley takes a short kick at about the 22. Advances it to the 35-yard line, where he's swarmed on by blue jerseys, led by Butch Roll. Well, the Indianapolis Colts have a swarm of bees in their receiving corps, with Booza, Brooks, Bellini, Banks, Beach, Boyer, and Brandis. And the passing game has been good to them today, but it would almost take a miracle from that swarm of bees to get it done with 1:53 left and an 11-point deficit facing them.
You know, Tom, it's really a tribute to the Colts players and coaching staff, though. They gave great effort today. 1-4 record. They played like they were 4-1. And the football game's not over yet, but it's definitely an uphill road for them from this point forward. But there was absolutely no drop in concentration, effort. You got to really tip of the cap to the Colts' entire organization. There was no quit in the Indianapolis Colts this afternoon.
Hogeboom trying to rally his troops one final time. And again, he's in trouble. Oh, he's going to be sacked by Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith is back.
And back with a sack.
Bruce is the chant here at Rich Stadium.
Here's the play. Bruce Smith takes an inside pass rush on a very athletic tackle.
Here's Dickerson back to live action, escaping a trap and falling forward to the 20-yard line. Leon Seals was after him. Bruce Smith back for his 2nd game after a 30-day suspension for substance abuse. His game back on track.
He took an inside rush on Chris Hinton, one of the more athletic offensive tackles in the National Football League. Beat him to the inside and got a handful of jersey on Hogeboom and dragged him right down to the ground.
The Bills will face the New York Jets next week in another AFC Eastern Division game, while the Colts will face the Tampa Bay Bucks next week.
That was the 5th sack for the Buffalo Bills today against the Indianapolis Colts. And this young man, or I should say man, he's not very young anymore, but Gary Hogeboom, he's going to have to go home and hit the jacuzzi this evening. He's going to be very sore.
So if the lead stands up, Buffalo will be 5-1 in playing the Jets, who are 3-2-1. So another big game coming up for the Bills next week, and that will be played in New York. And the Indianapolis Colts, who won this division a year ago and one of the great turnarounds in the NFL, will fall to 1-5. 3rd and 27. Screen pass. I guess that's what it was. Hogeboom just threw it to the sideline.
Great play by Cornelius Bennett. He was on a blitz. He read the screen. Eric Dickerson, he could tell that Eric Dickerson was trying to release the screen, came off of his blitz, clamped on Eric Dickerson, giving no receiver whatsoever for Gary Hogeboom, had to just throw the football away. A heads-up move by Cornelius Bennett.
Well, the Colts broke on top 17-0 over the Bills. Jim Kelly was off target to start the game, but wound up with 3 touchdown passes to rally Buffalo. And with 1:22 left, the Colts with a 4th and 27, trailing by 11. Again, they're after a Hogeboom, who scrambles and passes it incomplete. And the Bills will take over. Mark Bellini, the intended receiver, and Bruce Smith was in Hogeboom's face again.
Bruce Smith really coming on gangbusters here at the critical time of the football game, as did this entire Bills defense. And no wonder. 6 number 1s, 3 number 2s out of that starting 11. They're well put together. They're a great blend of youth and experience. Art Still's a stabilizing force. Fred Smerlis is. They got the young talent in Smith, Bennett, and Shane Conlon. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with defensively for a lot of years to come.
1:16 on the clock, 34-23, Buffalo in front. And with the ball just inside the Colts 20. Buffalo offense showing much more success against the Colts today than they have at any time this season. Bruce Smith is really back into the defense for the Bills. They're glad to have him back. Our thanks to Larry Pollock and Kerry Holler on stats today, and Mike Luck and Pete Fairley on spotting duties. Excellent job here at Rich Stadium. David Stern, our producer, Jack Simon, our director. It's been a tremendous football game.
Both teams diversified their offense. The Bills ran the ball. The Colts threw the ball. The Bills come out victorious, though.
And the Bills are for real. You can throw out that 24-3 loss to the Bears a week ago. The Bills are to be reckoned with in the AFC.
That loss to the Bears last week, Tom, coaching staff, Marv Levy had a great point about that loss. He said, it taught us what level we had to rise to in a big football game. So we're going to put that in our memory banks and really use that as the season progresses.
Well, the coaches and players on the field as the clock continues to tick down. The game not officially over, but they didn't have to run a play. So Jim Kelly, our Budweiser MVP, with 3 touchdown tosses, celebrating a victory over the Indianapolis Colts. There's the gun to sound the end of the game as the Buffalo Bills come from behind to beat the Indianapolis Colts 34-23. The Bills beat the Colts 34-23. Here's how they did it as we look at our report card for this game in the AFC Eastern Division. That'll find the Bills still on top of the division. Kelly with a good day passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Mueller did a good job running the ball, and Reed with 2 touchdown receptions. And for the Indianapolis Colts, turnover is a key factor in their defeat today. As they diversified their attack, they got the passing game going. Dickerson was 65 yards, and it was a good effort by the Colts, who didn't come up short. And stay tuned now for the second half of our doubleheader, Denver at San Francisco or Pittsburgh at Phoenix. You'll see those games right after these messages from your local station.